Hi YouTube. I have got myself a new welding equipment. I'm absolutely new to welding. I have done gas welding before, but I've never done TIG. I have tried MIG a little bit, but now I've got myself my own TIG welder. So I have been having this for about a month now. So this is a video about the gear and the welder itself and so on, because when I was researching on the internet there was basically no, the only videos I could find of the gear was some very short promo video by the Kemppi themselves, or some welding shops that has done minor videos. So there was no reviews, there was no unboxing, there was no view of how the gear was looking. So this is a video for so you can see this TIG welder, and if you're in the market for one, then you can see how it works and the menus and the gear and the build quality and so on. It's a Kemppi MasterTig MLS 2300 ACDC. So it can do steel, stainless steel, aluminium, yeah, basically all the processes that a TIG welder can do. I mainly need it for when I'm using my CNC machine. I make parts, and often I need to put the parts together in a smarter way than using bolts and so on. So I needed a welder to make the joints and when building stuff, so I better can put the parts together. And yeah, there's so many tasks that I hadn't done on projects and so on, that because I didn't have the skills to weld and I didn't have a welder. My father has an old stick welder, but it's a very old one, and I have tried sometimes, but it seems to be more messy than good. I can't do aluminium, and yeah, and the rods we have, they are so old, so then they don't work. They just disintegrate when we're trying to use them. So I decided some time ago that it was time for getting a new welder. So I was looking around, and here in Denmark we have the Mectronics. I believe that it's the home country for them. So there's many shops in Denmark that are selling the Mectronics. But I wasn't keen on the gear, and didn't look yeah, to be the right one when I was searched. So I've used a lot of time in welding forums, and reading on the net and so on, and learning the brands and so on. There's many big brands, and Kemppi is from Finland. There's just north of Denmark. So it's not a neighbor, but in this part of the area, and near Denmark. So and I could see on the welding forums that they got really good. Many people said that this was top 3 brands or something that they have used in the past. So, and this seems to be good equipment. And when I looked at the used gear prices on the internet, the prices was just high. It was sometimes more than half of a new welder. So for me, it's a lot of money, but when when you're paying so much money for an old used one, I better go for a new one and get the warranty and so on with the equipment and know it's the good one and yeah, that's up to people to decide and I must say that this is an inverter machine, so there's not many inverter machines for sale on the internet. It seems to be more the transformer type, and my space is very limited. So and it's my understanding they use more power, electricity for the transformers than the inverter versions do. So it's cheaper to run electricity wise inverter versions. Yeah, so in this video, going over the different gear I got, and talk about some pros and cons and so on. Please be aware that I'm absolutely new to TIG welding, so I have viewed a lot of video from Jody at tipsandtricks.com and weldingtipsandtricks.com on the internet and all his YouTube videos and so on, and used that as a learning process and on welding forums and so on. So I've done my research, I have seen the videos, I have read some books, so and I've already used a 20-liter bottle of argon, so I've for this month already had some welding time, so I think I have a good idea of how good the equipment is with the pros and cons and so on, but I'm no expert welder and I may say some stupid things that yeah, bear with me. This is not to be an expert in this. This is just to show the gear, so everyone that's interested in the Kemppi gear as opposed to all the other gear. It seems when you're going for the Everlast and other Chinese models and so on, there's plenty of on the internet. There seems to be many videos, so it was a bit surprising to me there's no one for this one. So yeah, this is the box that came in. First issue, I think this box is a bit too thin in design. It is just a 2-layer. The welder was just sitting down here, freestanding, 2 layers of cardboard, and then there was this shipping wrapping plastic in each end. I believe that I got this welder from Rapid Welding in United Kingdom, because there don't seem to be any good suppliers in Denmark, and I can see that they have taken all the equipment out of the boxes and repacked it. So maybe there's some of this packaging that's lost. So here was the torch and ground cable, and here was the welder itself. So you can see it's only 1 layer, and this inner plastic. So true to all new equipment that are coming from another country and a long way from, it has shipping damage. It seems to be the law, and this box is no. There don't seem to be any damage on the box itself. It's complete. But when we go over the machine, I will show you the damage on the cabinet. It's just a minor thing, what's there, and it seems that if they're sending around the world in this with just 2 layers of cardboard to the machine, it seems too thin for me. If they are, as I know, the postman will throw the things around and so on in the post van, and yeah. So let's move this aside. So here's the Kemppi MasterTig MLS 2300 ACDC model. It's a fairly small and compact model. As you can see with the hooks here, you can have a strap and have it over the shoulder, so you can easily transport it if you're going on site somewhere and so on. They're showing that in the promo video. So the size of the machine is 44 centimeters times 18 centimeters times 40 with a handle and 35 without the handles in the height up to here, in this level here. It's about 25 kilos. It runs on a single phase 240 16 amp. So it's not in Denmark. We don't have this is actually only a 13 amp plug. So I have to change this to another one. But the cable and so on is designed, and the machine is handled to the 16 amp outlet. It's about what 2 to 2.5 meter cable coming with the machine. The plug is something I have installed myself. I guess when you're buying the machine, it was coming with a Danish plug, but without the grounding leg. So for me, that's a no-go. It has to be changed. So we have this for ground and the live wires and the neutral. So the connector is changed to one that's and the green color means that it's a rough for work environments and outside and so on. So it's a good connector. The machine itself, if you can see it, it comes with first thing that is that the model number is one thing, but the panel is you can remove the panel and buy another panel. This machine, it was the biggest panel. It's called ACX is the model number of this panel. So it has all the features and so on. So you can buy the machine at a lower price with the simpler interface, and then later upgrade the interface front of the machine. So from what I can see on the literature and so on, it's not a new machine that's come to market. It seems to be a machine that has been on the market for I don't know when it's come out, maybe 8 years ago or something. So I believe it's well tested, tried, and they have removed all the errors, and this, if there has in the past been some issues with the new equipment, they have most likely changed that to the better in this one. So that's fine with me that it's not the newest fancy model for China or something, but something that simply works and there's no issues with it. To begin with, there's this cover on the front. I have a suspicion that it's a good idea that this cover is there, but I have a suspicion that this down here with the plastic going in through here and it's moving here, it will not last. At some point this will break off. So it seems to me that it could have been a better design, yeah, in some way. I think I already now will think of maybe buying some extras of the covers, because I'm sure it at some days it will break, and buying them now will maybe be cheaper and easier when the machine is on the market, contra when it's in 10 years it breaks and it's no longer on the market. It's difficult to get parts and so on. So but it seems when I'm looking on the net and the suppliers that you can get parts for really old Kemppi machines on the net, with the dealers and so on. So I'm sure that you can get the parts if there's something that's broken or that don't work anymore. So this is the cover, and here's all the control. If we wait a moment with that, because then I can power up and show you the different things. Yeah. So you see two DIMS connectors, DIMS 35, I believe they call. And there's a plus sign here, and there's a minus sign here. And then you think this is the gas, but this is the gas and power for the TIG torch. So you don't use you don't put the torch into the DIMS connector. You simply connect the torch to here, and this is the power with the amps and gas and all in one connector, and then you have the ground connected up to the DIMS connector. One thing I didn't know, I've seen a lot of video with Jody and so on, and he has explained that beginners often connect the cable the wrong way around. So I was sure that when I was using EN electrode negative, then I was sure that I had to connect the ground connected to the plus and not the minus. So when I started the welding, I couldn't get it to work. I looked in the manual. There was some. I'll show that later. There was some explanation about the MMA, the stick, that told that you don't need to move the cables. But there was no information about the TIG process, so on. So after some dialogue with the people on the welding forum, thank you to the guys there, and it helped me. You actually have to connect the ground cable to this connector, the minus polarity. But the minus and plus signs here is misleading, because this machine is automatically changing the polarity of what process is using on the connectors down here. So here it's always the ground cable to this one, no matter what process you're using. And this always the TIG torch, and this is always the stinger when you're using electrodes. Yeah. So there's no need for changing the cable around when you're changing the process. It's done internally in the machine. For me as a new one, it wasn't explained in the manual, and I was told so many times on welding forums and Jody and so on that the ground must be in the plus and so on. So I put it in here, and of course it didn't work. I could see on the internet it was explained that when you hook it up the wrong way, it seems to be working, but its welding process is very bad. But in this on this machine, it simply turns off. When you're using the ground clamp here and the welding torch here, it's just starting, and then in 1-2 seconds or something, it turns off again. You get no welding. It will simply not start. So I was a little concerned in the beginning when getting this expensive equipment from the UK to Denmark, and oh no, is there something wrong with it, and so on. So I connected the ground connector to this one, and then it starts working, and find out that it's automatically switching over. When you know it, it's super nice because you don't have to change the cables and so on. And when you have the torch here and you have the control cables here, it's annoying if you had to move the cable over here. It's a bit crowded in this area, so it's nice it's sitting here in this way. I just wish they have removed the symbols with the minus and the plus down here, and showed a ground clamp and a stinger symbol instead, because on this machine it's the only way it can be set, no matter what process you're using and how you configure it. It is internally turning the things for you. So why not put the stinger logo here and the ground clamp here, and remove the symbols so you don't confuse people that's not reading the manual and new to the machine. Here's 2 connectors. This is just some plastic caps. I decided to keep them and put them over. There's 2 connectors. Let's take the grounding cable and look at that first. So here's the good beefy clamp and the DIMS 3570. I'm not sure you can see that. Can you see that? DIMS 3570. So that goes in here, and then turn, and then you have the cable. It seems to be a good clamp from what I've seen on other equipment. I'm not expert, not seen a lot of equipment. There's some copper here and a breeding down here that's connected to the cable, and the spring is very strong, so it's hard to open it. So it seems to be very good. But one thing, if you can see it here, it seems to be pulling itself out. I've used it for around a month or something. It seems that very soon have to rewire, setting a new cable shoe on this one, because it's pulling itself out of this cable shoe. So it's a minor thing. I can fix that. That's not an issue, but it's a bit disappointing that this expensive new machine, after 1 month, seeing that the ground clamps cable is not holding. They should have done something to make that better. And I don't know how they can do that, but this is not holding. So it's matter of time. It will pull out the cable of the shoe. I don't know if they haven't. Seems to have pressed the connector very hard, and you can also see the rings from the pressing. But anyway, it's coming out. It's not holding the wires in. But yeah, it says 300 amps Kemppi. So it's one they have made themselves. Yeah. So that's a small disappointment that this connector is not seated, or the cable is not seated better than the cable shoe, and it's only 1 month. From what I can see, it seems that it's almost on the way out. But I will buy some new shoes and cramp on the cable. I don't know if there's any markings on the 35 carat cable. So it's a good beefy cable. There's no issue getting the proper grounding through this way if the connector is complete. So so this is the ground shoe, always there, no matter how the polarity on the front is set up. I haven't got a stinger with the machine in this package configuration I have got from Rapid Welding. It's something I have to buy extra, and I didn't thought of it that I ordered the machine, that it wasn't included in the package, and it seems to be fairly cheap. It's a low price, or I can use, it's a DIMS connector, so I can use any stinger cable with a DIMS connector. So I haven't tried the MMA process on the machine. I only used it for TIG on this machine. So let's look at the torch and how it's connecting up to the machine. Here's the part to show you on the. So I'll take this here and take the business end first. It seems to be some hose, plastic hose over this. So there's a control cable, and there's the power, gas and control cable in this, and it seems to be fairly flexible here at the torch end. But it is not a slim cable when welding. I have very quickly got myself another torch that I will show you later in this, maybe in another video, depending on the length of this video. So you can see it here on. So this is the torch, if you can see it in the video. There's a switch. You can hear the micro switch inside. Sounds like and feels like a good switch. There's having a long lifetime in it. The two things down here is sliders that you can place. So depending on how you like to hold on the torch, they can support your finger in the glove and so on. Model number of this torch is TTC 220. It can do 220 amps at 40% duty cycle. So not 100%, but it can do the 220 amps at 40% duty cycle. It seems to be very good quality. and built in a good way, but it's fairly big and heavy, so I got myself another torch that I will show you in a moment, or in another video. The machine is only coming with one lens, gas lens here, and it's number 6, and there's a 2.4mm setup with the you can see in the miscoloring that I've used it at some. There's this back cap here. Again, I'm new to welding, so I don't want to judge the torch on quality and so on, and brands and so on. I've simply decided that this one is too big for me. This is only on when I'm doing heavy duty stuff where I need 220 amps and so on. So I got myself another torch from CK welder online, a flex torch that I will show you in a moment on another video. So yeah, so this is the torch. I believe the cable is 4 meters in the length. So here's the cable sleeve. You can see the cable here, and it's ending in this big connector here. There's the plastic nut with the metal inside, with the there's going for the power connector, and you can see the gas is coming in through this outlet. So here's the control cable. It's a Adaptor cable connector, military standard. 7-pin connector. Seems to be in my opinion, a very good choice to use a connector style like this. One thing to note, we can also see that in a moment, that the machine has two connectors down here, one for the torch and one for the pedal, foot pedal. They both use 7-pin ethanol connectors. They look like they are identical, but the pin rotation is slightly different. So it is two different connectors, even they look like it's the same. So if you're buying loose connectors to do something, your own pedal or something, just be aware that this connector on a torch is not the one for the foot pedal. It's not a big deal from my point of view, because I have the things I need. So it's only if I plan to make my own foot pedal, I have to play around and see if I can buy a connector there. So you put in, if you can see, so you screw in the torch cable here in the middle with the plastic. And then you have this control cable that is put up here. So this is the configuration for all TIG processes where you're using the torch with both DC minus and DC plus. Again, no need to change the cable around. As you can see here, it had been annoying if the cable for the clamp should be sitting here when the two connectors are here, but as the configuration is now, it seems to be good. Yeah. Now it's just to be used. I have got a foot pedal with the machine. So here's the foot pedal. This has some anti-slip thingy on the top here, so it's very good. There's a shoe stop down here, so you put the shoes and it's not sliding around. There's some rubber thingies here, and I believe they are fairly easy to buy new ones and put new in if they get worn out at some point. Because I guess when you are moving the pedal around on the floor, it will be worn. So. The cable that's coming out of the foot pedal is coming here. To me, it's a bit of an annoying location. I'd rather had it coming out in this end, but maybe they don't want it having to be here, so you can, or if you can see it. So it was coming here in this end. Now it's coming at the side of the. It's hard to show on the video here. It's coming out of the side of the. But it seems to be well built. Works fine. There's one issue with the foot pedal. If you can see down here, let me. If you see, this one is the control rod. You can't see. This is the pin that's going up and down, the pot meter inside and a switch. So when you push this, it gets pushed in, and then when you release, it gets back. I have one issue with this design, or my pedal, or whatever it's called. It doesn't come out automatically. It seems sometimes it gets stuck and then it comes out. So I think I have to open this and see what is going on and what has happened. Maybe just something is placed a little bit wrong and I loosen a screw or something. But it is annoying that when you're welding, you release the paddle and it's not stopping welding. It's simply keeping the control, because this is being held in. So I don't know if there's design on the internal parts and so on. Seems to be a fairly good spring here to when you push the pedal down. It works fine. It's just the rod that's going into the electronics. If you can see it here, it's going into this box with the pot meter inside. It must be something that's in there that's preventing it from sliding out and sometimes. And it's not all. It's showing as it is all the time now, but it seems to be changing a bit. So from what you're paying for this foot pedal, I think it's a bit of robbery at day. As this is brand new pedal for me, and it's having a issue with the pin there already. And there's nothing in this box other than a micro switch and a pot meter. I don't know the ohms for the pot meter, but there's no additional electronics inside. It is just a micro switch and pot meter, and then it's going up with 4 wires to the machine. And the price they're taking for this is yeah, it seems like robbery at daylight. Yeah. So, but I'll fix this. It may be just a minor thing, just a scar on something that has to be fixed, so it's working again. So this is a extra thing I got with the machine. It's not included in the machine's package that I got from Rapid Welding. This is extra, but it is a Kemppi, and it's called R11F, and made in Finland. So good quality, except for the pin not going back. So the cable connector. Yeah, I don't know if this. So here I have the torch, and here I have the foot pedal. If you look at the pin configuration, they're both 7 pins, but according to this notch where there's aligning the pins, you can see they are not aligned in the same orientation. There's a number here on the sides. It's a bit hard for you to see, but there's a number here on the side. There's a slightly different number, so I believe you have to order the correct foot pedal connector and switch connector if you somehow doing your own. So that's what's a torch, and here's the foot pedal. It simply goes in here. That's it, and I'll show in a moment maybe. I don't think we will use the foot pedal in the configuration, but you simply here select if you're using panel or you're using foot pedal. So you simply push the button to change the location. Panel, foot panel or torch. So you select which control mechanism you're using for turning on and off and controlling the power. Yeah, this torch is only a on-off switch, so there's no amperage control on this one. You have to use the foot pedal to control the amperage remotely, or you can buy some hand-controlled amp wheels or something. Some small remote you can have where how you will use that and so on. So yeah. Let's look on the on the back side of the machine. So this is just some plastic caps that prevent dirt and all craps getting through. Here in the front you can see there's a grill, so there's a fan inside. It's a fairly loud fan that seems to be drawing a lot of air through it. So, but it's controlled automatically. So when the machine has run for a little while and it's hot, then it starts up the fan. So this is the inlet. I think maybe it's the outlet. Maybe the inlet is on the back and the outlet here, so it doesn't get all the crap in from the front. I believe this is the outlet, so it's moving air out this way. It will make sense. So, yeah. Maybe you can see it on the. Maybe a little hard, but here is a dent in the case. So you can see it's scraped here, a small dent, and then it's getting in here. I don't know how easy that is to see on the video. It's the from the shipping, the damage that's on the shipping. And again, as this machine is coming from the UK, because that was the best price to me, best shop and so on, and there was no really good dealers in Denmark. Due to this single error, I don't want to send it back and wait weeks and weeks for them to exchange the thing and set a new cover up and send it back again and so on. It's just not worth the hassle for me. So yeah. So before we get on with the backside, I'll just say that here in the bottom you can see there's 4 areas, seems to and holes in the side, and there's this bracket here. It is that you can buy a water cooler. I think it's the same size. That you in here there's a connector for the cable, and then it click in here, and then it's bolted to the machine, and the machine can control the water cooler. So it is designed for adding a water cooler in the bottom area. Look at the website and so on. To me it seems that if this was a metal working shop, I'll maybe buy the water cooler, but for me I most likely will get a separate water cooler sitting next to it and not directly connected, because I can use the water cooler for things on the CNC and other machines and so on. So I will get a separate water cooler, I think. I don't want to buy the fixed one that's sitting on here, and it doesn't make any difference except that you have to turn on and off the water cooler system separately, because the outlets on the one you buy and set on here, they're just here, so you have to buy a new torch with the outlets here. The only connection there's here is power. It's only a small connector inside this bracket. But if you want to know more, then look at the website and maybe the manual. I believe it's called 20 the water cooler, the match this one. There's a 10 and 20 and 30. This is 20. So yeah, let's look at the backside and all the things happening here. I don't know if you can see the details so good. There's a, I believe, inlet for air that's going through with the fan, and then we have the power cable that's coming into the machine. It's hardwired into the machine, so there's no plug, and you cannot remove it. It's fine with me. This cable is maybe what 2-3 meters or something, so it's not the longest. So two things on the back. Yeah, there's 3 things, but 2 other things. Power switch, main power switch. It's now it's on. There's a 1 embedded here in plastic, and there's a 0 here embedded in plastic, and you can see that's turning this way. I think it's fairly good connector. I like this connector where you, when you twist, put your hand behind the machine and have to twist it. I think this is easier than if there was some plastic switch that you have to stick a finger in a hole with maybe there's a plastic cap over or something. This is a very easy one to feel where it is and turn. Yeah. And here you see the gas argon inlet for the argon going in, and the solenoid going into the solenoid and then getting out to the output of the machine via the gas on the torch connector. This we don't want to talk about this one. It's a cheap shitty flow meter that's coming from the firm that's getting me the bottles, the argon. It was the cheapest one they had, because I think my plan was that I will buy a better one later on if I need it, but at the moment I just get the cheap as one that I'm getting from the gas company to get me started. Then it fits the bottles and doing the job, so that's the thing. The gas cable, this one is coming with the machine. I believe that's 1.5 meter or something in length, and it has this quick connect going into this. If you can see it coming in here, and then it's connected, and then you can take it off on this. So if you have multiple cables and multiple bottles and so on, you can fairly easy connect over and yeah, I think it's a good system, rather than having something that you have to use a wrench to loosen a connector each time. So it's just plugging in there. I think I will buy another cable, so if I have another meter, flow meter, I don't have to put them off, so I can easily exchange them, and also having a spare cable is a good idea, I think. So, because if this is lost or damaged, then yeah, you can't do anything before I got a new cable. So yeah. But it's I don't know if it's a standard connector that's used on gas equipment and machines like this. It seems to be very good and tight. I haven't seen any leaking gas in any of the stuff. So yeah. So there was a overview of the machine. Next will be the overview of the menus and so on. But I can see now that I'm rambling a lot of about unimportant things, so maybe I will split this into 2 videos. I will see that when I'm editing the video clips together and putting them. So maybe I'll make this a multiple video if it is too long. So even though this is not my favorite color, it's more that I'm a bit like blue, but it's quite a cool color anyway. So it's not a boring black machine. I think it's cool that it's a non-standard black machine, and they dare to use a little color on. But the orange is a company color they use for a lot of things. So yeah, just go look at the equipment. Also the torch has the same yellow orange color on there. So with the machine I also got this CK worldwide FlexLoc torch series 2. I think it is maybe the size 9, but they call it series 2. It you can release here, and you can turn the head to move it around and all sorts of things. And also this the gas and power cable is very soft and easy to, and it doesn't weigh much compared to the other one. There's a big one. This is a lot smaller and easier to handle, and it's much easier when you have to follow a line, and you can just twist the head to the location you want. I believe that you can just take this off. So this button screw, the gas and small holes in it, is for holding the top piece, and then you can have more than one top piece, so you can have buy extra of this in the series 2, or you can buy the series 3 and then use the same handle. The only thing is that don't get too close to hot metal with the screw cap here. But it's a replaceable part, so I just have to buy a new one, and it doesn't seem to be expensive. So just be careful. And this torch is super nice to use. It's only rated for 130 or 20 amps, I think. So if you have to get more power, then you have to buy the bigger torch, or get water cooled, or use the one that coming with the machine. There's 220 only at a duty cycle of 40%. So this is the torch, and here's the cable for it. I got for the long cable. I believe that's 8 meters. Yeah, I think it's 8 meters or something. So it's nice and long if you have to just set the machine somewhere and then go around a machine or something and use it. So this is super nice. And to the torch I got a kit with the accessory gas lens kit with a small back cap and gas lenses and another cup there and a Pyrex cup, and then for the other sizes of the that's just a kit that you have to get because when I got the torch there was nothing included, only the torch itself, so I have to get one kit from Jody at the welding worldwide, what's called weldingtipsandtricks.com. He has this stubby gas lens kit that I got from him, including the videos and so on. And there's also the shorter back end and gas lenses and shorter versions again. So if you need to get into tight areas in tubes and other things, you can mount this. So if you get a torch, otherwise to get some kits. Maybe you just want to start with this. It's been okay. So yeah. So there's one power and gas in this one, and as you have noted, there's no switch on this torch. So I use this with the foot pedal to control the ammeage, and it suits me fine that there's no extra stuff hanging around here, switches and an extra cable and so on. So yeah, that's a good torch. For the connector, it's come with this yeah, I don't know the size of this one, but I will write it in the text below, because this one is supposed to sit in here, but it's not the same size. So in order to fix that, you can from Rapid Welding in the UK. I got this with the torch. This is a small adapter. So this screws in here. And you have to tighten it so that there's no gas leak, and then you can that's it. And then you can use a CK worldwide torch. If you're buying a torch for your machine or for this machine, remember to tell them what machine you want to use it with, so you get this extra adapter to fit up the, because it has been a bit of annoying thing if I have forgotten to get this this extra adapter, then I couldn't use the torch before I got this extra one. So ask them what adapter they need to make sure that you get the right one. So yeah, that was the CK Worldwide Torch FlexLoc 130 Series 2. I like this a lot. Its only thing is that it's getting fairly hot. I think there's thinner insulation than there's on this one. There's a lot more plastic and stuff that can deflect the heat, and so it seems this getting more hot. But the good thing is it's very small. Doesn't use a lot of space, and you can twist it in any way you like to do it. So if you have to weld down, you can turn it that way. And also what I like with them is that everything you can get as spare parts. So if something breaks, like I have melted this one, you don't have to buy a complete new one. You can always get the parts, and I believe all the consumables and stuff for them is the same and will be easy to get over the years. So yeah, so thumbs up to this torch, and I'm super glad I got this with the machine. I was looking at getting the bigger brother, the Series 3, but then again I have this torch that come with the machine for the big stuff, and I better like this for having the smaller stuff. So this is cool.